100 Days in Minecraft, as an engineer in a zombie apocalypse. That's right, the zombies are back. Only this time, we're going to try to transform the ruined city, load it up with flamethrowers and laser turrets, power them all with immersive engineering machines, and fight against a massive Bloodmoon siege, all coming together on day 100. The zombies can break blocks, build, and use TNT. They're going to be able to blow huge holes in my base, and trust me, they do. We're going to need to use automated turrets and immersive engineering machines to build a fortified bunker in the middle of a ruined city. Now you might be thinking, Captain, didn't you already do a 100 days as an engineer? And yes, this video is a little bit of a redo. That first video, it wasn't up to my standards. And I could have just re-uploaded, but I didn't want to do that. Because we've almost hit 50k subs, I wanted to make a better, cleaner looking video just for you guys. You deserve it. This one's going to be bigger and better. Thank you so much for 50k subscribers. Look at how much we've grown. The Captain's crew is really starting to build something powerful here. And speaking of building something powerful, let's put on our engineer's caps and get into this zombie apocalypse. Ah, the smell of a brand new world. And right away, we get lucky and spawn right next to this village with a huge guard tower. I jump right up it and start these 100 days off with a bow and a bunch of arrows. I steal a bed, like the thief I am, and run around to see a city building right next to the village. I'm gonna peek my head into these ruins, but the thing you need to know about these lost cities is the buildings have mob spawners in them and it makes them pretty dangerous this early. Alright, gotta seal this up. Only block I have though is a pumpkin. That seems legit. For now, we're just gonna explore the villages and stay away from the cities. It's a good thing I did too, because right in here, this building has a ton of iron and, oh, diamonds on day 1. Don't mind if I do. And, ooh, from the sound of those zombies, I'm gonna need them. I also make it a point to find the Engineer's Workshop, which is an immersive engineering villager building. Just like our last video, this place has a ton of great loot to get us started with all of our machines. And yes, I have to rampage through this house and break out all the treated wood, but come on, it's the end of the world. Give me a break. I see that I've spawned in a savanna biome. Oh, look at that huge skeleton. The creature who left this must have been massive. So, probably your mom. Yeah, that's right. I'm going back to some good old your mom jokes. So that's how you know the rest of the jokes in this video are gonna suck. And speaking of suck, this is quicksand. And it will slowly suck in anything that touches it. But it could be useful for later. For now, we find another village. And it's getting late, so let's finish our first day off by going to bed. On the start of day 2, another village means another engineer's workshop, and even more loot to help us start our base. And I gotta say, I'm starting off really strong here. I mean, look at me. Steel pick, bow with a ton of arrows, and almost full iron gear. Well, with all this loot, I should start making some kind of base to store it all in. I kind of look around this village. I think about making a base here, but I don't want mobs to kill the villagers, so I'm going to keep moving along. With even more luck, I find this cozy little place. This looks a lot like the house that I found in the Parasite video. It must be part of the Roguelike Dungeons mod pack. These underground dungeons in this mod pack are huge, and they have a ton of crazy mobs and some really top tier loot. Even the first floor has this custom mob spawner with skeletons that have armor and a shield. I don't even have a shield. No fair. I'm telling Mom. I see that there's a spawner back here. I fight my way back there, and I do get to break it. After that, I head into this forge room. This room has a bunch of furnace hopper setups, which should be perfect to start our base. And also, we get this anvil. Then this. Nice. Hey, I'm happy with that for today. Let's go to bed. On day 3, I don't want to do a repeat of the Parasite build where I made my base in this little cottage. I want to move into one of these ruined skyscrapers. But this means we're going to have to clear out all the mob spawners. And that's easier said than done. After fighting through this little area, I'm going to take these doors and then I'm going to move them over to the area that I've already cleared out and start to keep this area safe and separate. Then I'll start to set up some of the furnaces and a little bit of storage. When I find this spawner. No, 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 no. Now seeing this makes me think I'm in a little bit of danger here. Let's head down to see if we can clear out the entire basement. Sure enough, the basement is loaded with zomzoms. I'm starting to see that moving into the skyscraper might not be so easy. I'm on fire with no water, and I get down to below 2 hearts. What am I doing? Okay, we really need to rethink this strategy. Okay, no, don't like that. The zombies are already back into my living area. Okay, you know what, you guys? I'm done with this. I sneak in, because I want to grab whatever's in this chest, but I can't make it. God, these are the worst roommates ever. I grab some water to stop the burning, and I try to block a space off, so I can just kill a few at a time, and then try to find the spawners, but then this one spawns right behind me, and gets me way too close to die. And I just want to go to bed. Maybe it really was too soon to move into the city. One last time, trying to break the spawner and clean up the basement. I do manage to grab these iron blocks and get some well-earned sleep. Okay, so after that nightmare of a day, I realize that I'm going to need a ton more food if I want to keep fighting through the rest of the city. And, I mean, at this point, do I even need to say it? If you're new to my channel, then you need to know one thing about me that all my viewers already know. I love farming. The best farming mod in Minecraft is Pam's Harvestcraft. Easy. But even though I use Harvestcraft in all my videos, I still never knew something. If you play with Serene Seasons on, and we are, and you build in a jungle biome, a savanna biome, or a desert biome, you can only grow summer crops because of the heat. Even though it's spring right now, it doesn't matter. I'm only going to be able to ever grow summer crops here outside. So after this realization, I decide that on day 5, I need to go find summer crops instead of all these spring crops that I've been collecting so far. I still can't really believe this is true, so I decide that I'm going to collect some summer crops and some spring crops. When I get back to my farm, I start planting some spring crops only, and then I start to plant some wheat. Now wheat grows in the summer and in the fall, but not in the spring. So if it grows and the spring crops don't grow, then we'll know the truth. And of course, we can also use the wheat to incentivize our sheep to come and join us. I spend that night making half of the farm's spring crops, then half of them summer. So no matter what's going on, we're gonna have at least a little bit of food. I need to have something to eat. I'm not trying to go on a diet that bad. And I plant just about everything I can. I really want to try and get some new recipes that I've never tried before. And I still can't sleep with all these mobs in the basement, so I guess we're gonna head out and sleep under the stars. Day 6, and we're headed out to find our 3rd village. Whew, so many of these big-nosed boys out today. Now this one, I'm not just gonna pillage all the way through it. Well, you know, maybe do a little bit of pillaging. But the real reason I'm here is to do some trades. Cartographer, the perfect trader for easy emeralds. Also Nimwit, just like me. Then I find graphite electrode blueprints. This one right here, it's super important for our mega projects coming later on. And also, a swamp. Perfect. Because 1, we might find Shrek. And 2, we might be able to collect swamp flowers. More about those little gems later. But for now, I'm a little sleepy. Captain needs his beauty sleep. Day 7, and we use one of our emeralds to make our marketplace. But more importantly, we've been looting enough obsidian to make our nether portal. A big step in immersive engineering. I'll make a quick shield because, you know, I don't want to die. Do you? And into the nether we go. Speaking of lucky, there's a fortress right behind us when we spawn in. Dude, am I cheating? Is this video scripted? I don't know, man. Seems pretty sus. You better dislike this video. Oh wait, you can't dislike videos, because according to YouTube, that hurts people's feelings. Oh, too soon? Yeah, it's probably too soon. Please don't shadow ban me, daddy YouTube. I'll be a good girl. Okay, now we... How do I even transition away from that weird joke? Okay, now we farm up some blaze rods for our next machine. Things are going pretty well. I've got everything handled until these 3 spicy boys pop in all at once. I try to rush them down, but I can't. But I should be fine, right? Oh, wait. Hold on here. Not fine, not fine, not fine. Ooh, that was not fine. Did I ever mention how much I hate the nether? Day 8. Turns out we were right. Only summer crops are going to grow in this savanna biome. We head out to grab some clay for the next project, just like we did in that last video. By the way, do you guys like these tech/build focused 100-day videos? Or do you guys like those crazy custom mobs? I'm down for whatever we decide. Okay, so we need to cook up some bricks from all that clay. I'm gonna have to burn up some wood because I don't even have coal yet. And speaking of coal, I'm gonna add our very first machine, a coke coal furnace, to make coke coal, which, thanks to Mon Cobb, I found out is a high carbon coal-like material. It's produced from heating oil or coal, so thanks for that comment, Mon Cobb. Just like she said, we're going to be adding coal to the furnace and superheating it, but, I guess in order to do that, we got to get coal first. So, on day 9, we start our very first trip down to the mines. It's kind of crazy. We're already pretty geared up. We haven't done any mining yet. Probably because I find mining on these 100-day videos so boring. That's actually why I'm going to skip most of this footage. Kind of like this. Skipping ahead to back on the surface, we have enough coal to make a few blocks, which we're going to turn into coke coal. So what do I do with coke coal, you might be asking? It's the fuel for a blast furnace, which is made out of blazing powder. And that's the reason we went to the nether so early. The blast furnace will slowly use coke coal to turn iron into steel. A huge part of immersive engineering. Day 10, and we finally get enough brick to finish said blast furnace, and we start the slow steel making process. And, oh, well, hello there. This sheep comes right up to my door and says hi, which gives me an idea. Whoa, don't fall. Whoa. Poor little Bartholomew. Oh well, that's fine. I still need to do a little bit of work and get this pen ready for the sheep anyway. Which means we're going to do a lot of digging and get rid of all this brick. The sheep better appreciate this. But we do finally get everything ready, and we get our little sheepies up in here. Oh, except for this one. Well, fine. These two get to be boyfriend-girlfriend. You're all alone. Day 11, and I start feeding the sheep, trying to get these sheep to grow up a little bit faster so that we can breed them, and oh wow, they really do grow up fast, I guess. But the other thing growing is my appetite. So, sorry. I cook up some lamb and get a Harvestcraft cutting board. I can use that with some onions and some peppers on a steak to make a lamb kebab. And, man, doesn't that sound good right now? I've actually never made this lamb kebab recipe. All the ingredients are summer crops. That's kind of a hard thing to do in Harvestcraft. Most good recipes use multiple seasoned ingredients. We got some steel, which is good, but it's still taking some time. Ugh. And then I get lucky, and with only 2 eggs, I get a chick... Oh, wait a minute. My hacks that I got from GitHub said I would get chickens. I want my 1,000 Bitcoin back. Day 12, and I know there's a massive Bloodmoon horde coming in 88 days, but I'm having too much fun with my widow sheepies. Ooh woo! In fact, I love my sheep so much that I just can't bring my... Did I just say ooh woo? Okay, ignore that. Instead of killing my own sheep, I head out to get some lamb chops from these wild sheep. In the process, I find some piglets. I steal them away from their 100-acre woods, and I get them into the pen as well. By the way, quick personal preference question. Do you guys like having all of your animals in one place? I normally like having 1 pen per animal type, but let me know what your thoughts are. We keep the steel coming, and keep the kebabs coming, and make sure all my animals are breeding. Honestly, this day kind of felt like it wasn't worth too much, so I decided to head into the mines to make up for lost time. That night, we find an underground railroad, and no, that's not just a Fallout reference. There is literal underground railroads with a bunch of gold in them. This is super important, by the way. Later on in this 100 days, gold is going to be worth its weight in, well, gold. I guess it's worth what it would be like in the real world. But the mobs don't seem to be happy that I'm plundering their booty, so they chase me out. Back at my base on day 13, and we need to focus on getting some more hemp. Now, I promise I'm not going to make a weed joke. I know I leaned a little too hard into that in the Industrial Revolution video. It's not even the same type of hemp anyway. I do make 4 iron buckets and 4 iron plates so that I can make a jerry can. Because I need to remove some of the creosote oil from the coke furnace. Not to dump it. Even though it's a byproduct, it's actually super important. Also, we aren't going to dump our waste in the environment anyway. Didn't you guys learn anything from the last video? So I chopped down... Oh, the little piggy. Watch out, the tree's falling. Watch. Oh, I can't look. Oof. So we take all our wood and all of our emotions back, and we mix it with creosote oil, and we make treated wood. The basic building material in immersive engineering. Speaking of engineering, we get our engineer's manual, because I really want to rush a crusher. It took me almost 60 days last time, and now I'm not waiting that long this time. For all my new viewers, Immersive Engineering has multi-block machines, which take blocks made out of certain materials like steel, and then you place all of those blocks in the right layout. Now I'm going to make sure that I go over each and every piece I make, at least the first time. I want to make sure that you guys can learn and be entertained in this video. For now, we're just going to do some basic tasks while we wait for more steel. Also, this is a good time to mention, we have a nutrition mod on. This means if I get over 90% of one type of nutrient, I get bonus health and other little buffs too, but I'll talk about that more later. For now, I'm going to get another coke coal furnace to hurry up the steel. I'm honestly kind of getting bored here. So now, we should get more coke, which means we can get more steel, which means more waiting. Ugh, so bored. Alright, that's it. I'm going mining. Now, while I'm mining, I'm trying to get these modded ores, which are mostly copper and bauxite, or aluminum. And hey, while I'm mining, I don't know if this is a weird time to bring this up, but we're about to hit 50k subs. How crazy is that? If you're still watching this far into the video, then it probably means that you're subscribed, so, like, we're kind of killing this YouTube game right now, guys. Seriously, thank you for all the comments and all the love you guys leave on all my videos, and I've seen that some of you want to be a part of this channel and support me even more. So, I've started up a Patreon, and I'm going to give it a try. But remember, just like you never have to subscribe or like my videos, you never need to feel like you have to join the Patreon. This community and these videos are always free. Don't forget that. This is for those of you who want to be closer to me and the channel and who want to become part of the crew. And also for those who think I should buy a computer that's not a potato. You know what? That's fair. But most importantly, whether you join the Patreon or not, I still love all the support and each of my viewers just the same. I swear I'm not going to get mushy this time. Okay, maybe a little bit later on, but not right now. We get copper, which is what we need next to make light engine blocks. We make 10 of these. Then we get a bit more steel, and now we can begin. The layout of this machine is, I'd say it's a mid-tier difficulty. It takes some light engine blocks, then steel scaffolding to fill out the 3x5 floor. Then the second floor needs 5 light engine blocks, in this order, with some steel fences around the middle engine. We get our redstone block, which every machine needs one. We place that. Then we finish the steel fences, and now we need to add 9 hoppers to the top. So I start to head outside to get working on that, but, I mean, let's be smart. Why risk this? Let's head to bed and do this in the daylight. Did I just say something smart? Ugh. Feels kind of weird. We head out to get some wood so that we can make chests for the hoppers, and then we start to make the hoppers. Remember, we need 9, so it's going to take a lot of iron. I think 45? Wow. Now I'm even doing simple math. Maybe I am smart. So I go running out to find more iron, but I'm so happy at the prospect that I might be smart that I act dumb, and I forget what I'm looking for. I get lost in the city until nightfall, subsequently acting very stupid. I get home, and I decide just to use a little bit of the iron that I put in the blast furnace just to finish up the crusher. We get the last hoppers done and put them in place. Then we get some conveyor belts to move our ores into the crusher. By day 17, we got ourselves a really quick crusher. This is so perfect. I'm so proud. I'm not crying, you're crying. This will really help us with mining, since the crusher doubles any ores that you add to it. Before we can go throw in our little crusher party, we need to start generating some power to run this huge thing. We get some copper, turn it into plates, so we can then turn it into wires. Then, we can make a copper coil block with just a little iron, and I used all my iron to make the crusher, didn't I? Yup. looks like it's back to being stupid for me. I'll need to get some more mining done. But for now, I'm going to start working on my power source. A windmill. This is made with the treated wood that we've been making and with hemp for the sails. I take these extra seeds and I start to add on more hemp plants because we're going to need them. Turn the hemp into tough fabric and the tough fabric into windmill sails. Kaboom. Before we head out mining, we should get more lamb kebabs. Which means, yes, I'm sorry little lambs, but the blood gods do require a sacrifice. Please, enjoy your last meal here, and try not to struggle too much. You'll just die tired. Hey, if it makes you feel any better, you're delicious. I try to go to bed, but I can't. Hey, this is just a good excuse to go mining for the night. Which I do. And a whole day later, on the 18th, we pop our heads out over in the swamp, where it actually is raining. Now, we didn't find Shrek, sadly, but we do find this slime, and that's pretty neat. But in all due seriousness, what we really want here are these swamp flowers. My loyal viewers already know, but just in case you don't, these flowers help you make greenhouse glass, which we need if we're going to grow crops from spring or for fall. And yes, we really do need that. Then next I head back into the mines. But hey, what am I supposed to do? I can't help if it takes a lot of raw resources to be an engineer. I actually stay down here for a whole day until my steel pick finally breaks. But hey, we got what we need to finish the windmill. I set out some sugarcane for paper, and I get back to making the windmill blades. It takes 9 blades for one whole windmill head. By the way, I got a lot of comments saying I say windmill weird. I say like windmill? Windmill? I've been trying to say windmill? Anyway, I want to get a lot of these windmills, so I craft up 4. Next, we craft up the dynamos using the copper and iron that we got. And I decide I really want to make sure I have enough power, so I'm going to go full send, and I'm going to get 5 kinetic dynamos. I head out that night, and I set up the very first one. Looking at this huge machine, it always gets me pumped up. But then, those zombies remind me that we need to hurry. The first blood moon is coming in only 5 days. So I go to bed to be safe before I set up the second windmill. Now, I want to make sure I'm getting a lot of power sent through all of my wires, so I make high voltage wires. For just a basic windmill, this is a bit overkill, but I'm going to start getting batteries and it'll make more sense later. For now, I need to get some clay turned into terracotta blocks so I can make some high voltage connectors. I take a moment to think about how do I really want to set this up. I know for right now, I'm going to make things super simple, but I want to be able to make things more complex when I build on in the future. I place one connector on the windmill, and then I set another connector on the crusher's plug. Then I run a cable directly between them. Somehow, this is very simple, yet still overkill. But at the same time, as the build evolves, it'll all start to make sense. I'm just glad this big boy's getting powered. Now, I can start to run my ores into it. I throw in some gold to test it, and boom. Day 20, and we have a running crusher to double our ores. Not bad. Now, let's get into the real reason you came and watched this 100-day challenge video. Open turrets. Open turrets lets us build multi-tier, customizable, and upgradable auto turrets to defend our base. First, we have to make what's called a turret base. And the first one is just made out of redstone and wood, so pretty easy. You craft the gun components, which is a chamber and a barrel, and we get the most basic turret, the disposable item turret. I just want to try and set this very first one close to the windmill, just so I can test everything out. Could you imagine if Immersive Engineering wasn't compatible with open turrets? Man, if that were true, I guess I would just have to hope that my sheep can protect me? Luckily for me, and for this video, the connector does fit on the turret base. I slap this connector right on its butt, and then I attach the wires. And bingo! The turret is fully powered and ready to be loaded. Now, Mr. Bosworth, you can't man the war machines. We've discussed this before. Please, go back into your pen. Huh. All I had to do was pull out this axe, and they listen really fast. Okay, for this turret, it can shoot the most basic style blocks, like cobble, or wood, or your mom. Was that my second your mom joke? I only really have one left. or it might start to get annoying. Better save that up. I need to get some quick aluminum, because that's a big part of the high voltage equipment. But again, trust me, it'll be worth it. I guess the turret was making me feel pretty cocky, because I just ran out into the night with no protection or place to hide. Big mistake. Soon, the mobs started coming out, and we got this. A baby zombie in armor. I do not like this one bit. Baby zombies are the worst. But I did get the cactus, so worth? Day 22, and I take some of my ore to the crusher. I decide to make some more storage, and throw a few chests in this next room. Soon, we have some copper and aluminum grit that we just need to throw into the furnaces. We're gonna need more ore than that. So it's back to the mines, where we stay for a whole day. As I'm headed home, I completely forgot. There are natural disasters in this mod pack, and an earthquake has ripped right through the map. It starts pretty far away from my base, but it's heading... Oh no. I start to follow the fault line back toward my base, and I'm not sure if it'll hit it or not. I see the cottage where I was first living. If we had stayed here the whole playthrough, this giant crack would split right through my base. It even goes right up into the quicksand. Looks kind of cool. Good news is it doesn't reach all the way to my base. And my sweet, sweet crusher. I start to fill it up with all of the ores I've mined. And now we get our first real big load of crushed grit started. My base is okay. And my sheep are okay. Whew, I was a little bit worried about you guys.
We want to die. Why do you hate us, Father? Please end our suffering. Existence is pain. Let the earthquake end this nightmare.
Ah, yes. I love you too. Glad you're safe. Then we move all the grit into the furnaces, and now we have some super solid alloy production going. I know that the next blood moon is coming, so I have to farm up these sheep, but I'm so heartbroken about it, I can't even look at them, and I have to go to sleep over in the old cottage. Also, I'm worried they might try to murder me in my sleep. Day 24, and we go on a huge mining trip. I got a brand new steel pick, and I spend all day trying to get more iron so I can make a level 2 turret. I'm gonna need a ton of those turrets, cause I forgot, tomorrow's a blood moon. I found diamonds, so that's good. I hope that's enough. Day 25, and I'm just barely getting out of the mine. I only have a few minutes until the first wave of mobs comes in our very first blood moon. I load up the turret with some cobble, but we're gonna need a lot more than this little piece of Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to talk bad to you in your face like that. Okay, that was rude. But sadly accurate. I'm gonna need to throw together some kind of makeshift defense. This wave shouldn't be able to build or break blocks, so we might actually have a chance. I get a steel shovel and I start to make a trench right out front. This front side here is the biggest problem, since mobs can just walk right into my base. Then, I need to get to work on my trench on the highway side that connects to the far side of the base. Some spiders slow me down here, and honestly, that might just be enough to stop me from getting this whole thing done in time. Good news is, the rest of the base already has a wall around it. Bad news is, the blood moon is here. I don't have enough time to fill the whole trench in with quicksand like I had planned, but I can get a few buckets for the most important spots, like this gap that I would normally use to get in and out of my base. This should push the zombies back. Good. Works. But not for the skeletons. I need to actually fight them with my bow. As for the turret, well, let's see what she's got. The zombies can't cross this gap. And then, when I set down the quicksand, the zombie AI thinks it's a block, and they try to cross. So they get stuck right in front of the turret. And look at that turret. It's doing a glorious 1 damage every second. Maybe that even. But now, the zombies are trying to get to the sheep, and that would be a real nightmare. This is probably the most important area to defend. I'm holding back this first blood moon with a bow, but even that's gonna break if I don't get a backup soon. Then another wave starts to spawn. The spiders and skeletons are the biggest problem, obviously, but the zombies can body block them and take some hits too. Soon, I slip, trying to get to a spider, and now my bow is about to break. Then, a zombie hits me off the wall. Now this is where things could go really bad. I have to quickly get around to the back side of my base. But with no auto defenses, the mobs are just piling up, and now they're too dangerous to fight out in the open like this. I managed to get away from them and get to the front again. Please, little turret. I'm sorry I bad talked you. Please save me. Oh no, I almost forgot about the creepers. Luckily, the turret should be able to... Oh, what? I just took 7 hearts of damage from touching that high voltage wire? Dude, that's like by far the most dangerous thing in the wasteland right now. That little turret is not worth this risk. I'm gonna stay on top of my base and just run around with my arrows until the day comes. Luckily, that wasn't too far away. We made it through this one. But honestly, that was just a scouting party, and there was no real danger there. Well, I mean, other than my own wires. Seriously, I can kind of feel that in real life. That's how intense that shock was. It made me jump, but not pee my pants. I won't confirm that. You can't make me. Now, I'm really going to need a better defense for the next 50 days, for sure. We're going to need more turrets. Also, we're going to need a battery to charge those turrets. I set up some connectors on the side of this battery so that I can run power to the left and to the right. Then I also decide I want to connect it to the crusher. This is so when the crusher isn't running, the windmills will be charging the battery, and we won't have all that extra power going to waste. Plus, the high voltage battery can hold over 4 million IF. See? I told you high voltage would be useful, eventually. Next, we get started on a good old wall. These cool advanced turrets are pretty great, but we need some old school defenses while we're getting those crafted. I work on this wall well into the night, and, well, maybe too late into the night, because now the mobs are coming. But hey, no blood moon means I can sleep through the night. I just need to get my bed. Day 27, and I realized something. I have this huge crusher doubling my ores, but I'm still burning through double my coal with this old school furnace setup. It's time to upgrade to a big boy auto powered furnace. So we craft up another coil block so that we can make a heat exchanger. And as long as a furnace is touching the heat exchanger while it has power, it'll start to smelt even without any coal in it. Like I've said 1,000 times, I love automated furnaces. What I don't love is how this battery is so far from the heat exchanger. I'm gonna have to get a little bit creative here. Not to get confused with going into creative. I never really build in creative much. Is it any fun? Anyway, we use some of the green dye from the cactus we've been farming to make high voltage relays. You can use the relays to run wires to the back of the heat exchanger. These are different from connectors, as connectors can only connect to one thing. Think of relays like power lines and connectors like plugs. Set this relay up top, rewire the turret to it. Now the windmill can run power to both the turret and the heat exchange through the relay. Is any of this making sense? I'm a horrible teacher sometimes, I swear. Now the heat exchanger is getting power, and the furnaces don't need coal, so we can send all this coal to the coke furnace. But just like my computer trying to run 60 frames per second, it doesn't have enough power to work right. So we're gonna need to make more. So I start to get more hemp, but I should probably go to sleep first. Remember, play it safe. Day 28, and we're trying to get as many windmill sails as we can. And as a captain, I approve of the use of sails big time. The more sails you add to the windmill, the more power you will get. And if you fill out the whole thing, you get double the power of an unsailed power. Unsailed? Okay, now, I know I just made that word up. Oh. Oh, I see. So, the high voltage wires are killing all of my animals. This is definitely a problem we need to solve right now. I'm gonna try and... No, stop, oh man! Oh, why are you... I almost died. No, not, hey, stop! Okay, I really need to finish this wall faster, before more sheep turn themselves into lamb chops. I kind of feel bad for these little dum-dums, but now the rest of them should be safe. The wires are really dangerous, but we're gonna need them if we want to get more turrets up. And speaking of more turrets, I think we're ready to upgrade to Tier 2 turrets. There are 2 Tier 2 turrets. Say that 5 times fast. The first I've used before, a flamethrower turret. Pretty good, but let's give the gun turret a try. Tier 2 turrets take a lot of iron, but with our crusher doubling our ores, this should be easy. We craft up some IO buses, which is mostly redstone, bit of gold, bit iron. Then we need to make a tier 2 base. This means we need to craft up a tier 1 base and then add on to it. This is where open turrets can really drag. In order to get better turrets, you need to get all the materials for all the tiers below the one you want. Because of this, we're going to see if tier 2 turrets will be strong enough before we jump straight into the top tier turrets. He said, 100% knowing he was going to need tier 5 turrets anyway. Finally, we get a tier 1, and we have the mats to upgrade it. Ta-da! Now, we just need to make the gun, and this is pretty simple. We need to get a tier 2 chamber by upgrading a tier 1 chamber. Same with the barrel. I think the tier list is stone, then iron, then gold, diamond, and finally obsidian. Alright, where's this first gun boy going? I know that this place right out front got a ton of zombies trying to jump the walls, so let's throw it right here. We plug this turret into the power grid with a connector. Then we use some relays to extend our power a bit. We get all of our relays connected, and finally, we connect them to the windmill. Oh, whoops. So I guess I just sent another innocent animal to the electric chair. Okay, new idea. Since I know I want to have a turret or two around the animal pen, why not start to run some wires around the pen instead of, well, you know, directly through it, murdering a ton of innocent animals. Now, I just need to be careful not to touch these wires. Anyone who tries to get over this fence will get a huge electric shock. This gives me an idea. And heart palpitations, but mostly an idea. What if we run wires around the perimeter wall? Then, if any spiders try to climb up the walls, they're going to get shocked and stuck. Perfect. Now zombies will fall into the trench, spiders will get electrocuted, and the gun turrets will shoot the skeletons. And I'm out of relays. Okay. Well, it still looks like we're going to have a little bit of work to do on that front, but hey, now at least we have a cool plan to work towards. I've never been so happy to smell crispy zombie in my life. Only the spiders can still get in from the backside. Well, we're just going to have to run more wires. Okay. Ow. The spider's pretty stuck, but I don't really have too much time to celebrate. Just need to eat really, really fast. Half of a heart, you guys. Half. You know what this means, right? After that near-death experience, you know what we need? Well, more electricity. Duh. I want to make sure that next time I touch these wires, I'm gone. Okay, but seriously, we definitely are going to have to fix the backside of the base. For now, let's see if the turret idea is even worth it. Oh, they shoot pretty fast. They only do 1 damage, but it is rapid fire, so I have been electrocuted so many times. The only downside is that these bullets are made from good mats, and they shoot so fast, we run out pretty fast. So I'm going to need to turn these off so they don't just waste ammo on non-Bloodmoon nights. But hey, if we really need more mineable materials, we could always bust out my favorite immersive item, the drill. Just some handles made from treated sticks, then a heavy engine block. These are just some steel mechanical components, which are just more steel, and then 2 pistons and a bar of electrum. And there we go. Only, well, there's actually going to be a lot more work to get this drill up and running. That's going to be the next main goal that we try to get finished before day 50. Starting with a workbench, but that's easy. Almost like your mom. Oh, no, not yet. Hold back. Anyway, the upcoming project needs steel. And in order to streamline the steelmaking process, we need to have a place to store all this extra creosote oil that's coming from the coke furnaces. This means we need to make some fluid pumps to get the oil out. We can place the fluid pumps on the top of the furnaces, and in order for us to do that, this means we're going to have to break through some of the floor. Then, after we get those placed, we can put an output in the back, where all the oil will be ran out of. We just need some fluid pipes, which are just some iron, and we make an oil pipeline up to the 2nd floor. The American in me, so proud. Next, we're going to place our storage tank. But this is a big boy, so we're going to have to dig out a big chunk of the floor to start the tank off. This is pretty easy. 4 treated fences in the corners, and then you just use some iron sheet metal to make a 5-block tall rectangle with the inside being hollow. You guys already know this from the last video. Hit it with a hammer till it works like a true engineer would. Then we just need to lay out the pipe system, which I think I'll run through the roof. By the way, are all those zombie sounds driving you crazy too? I love zombie apocalypse videos, but we really need to find a way to make them quiet. Once the pipes are ready, we just add a lever to the pumps. No need for power. Throw the switch, and soon the furnace is empty of creosote oil, which means the furnace will continue to make us coke coal until we have a stack, which will be a long time out. I just need to do the same thing to the first furnace. You see that right there? That meter is starting to fill with oil. Yeah, it's a big boy tank. Speaking of runoff, I'm going to put all of our slag into this chest right here so that it doesn't back up. And yeah, we're basically now a true Carnegie with our steel production, which means now we can get to work on our next project, the squeezer. We get our wooden barrels and we start to lay this out in a simple 3x3x3 machine. So first, we just throw down some steel scaffolding, 2 engine blocks in the corner there, some pipes in the middle, the trusty dusty redstone block, and then the new blocks, those wooden barrels, and a piston which needs to be pointing down. Very important. Now we're done, except for the fact that we kind of ran out of steel, but we don't need to talk about that. In my fit of anger over my lack of steel, I decide to break even more stuff. Actually, I think this is where I'm going to try and fit my little enchantment library. Now, I don't have all the bookshelves yet, but I did grab the actual enchantment table itself, so I mean it's a start. Day 32, and it's time to try and fix that whole almost die every time I touch a live wire problem I've made for myself. And a big part of this is Captain's patented bunker slit technique. I can still hit mobs through the slits, but I can run the wire a block higher where it shouldn't touch me, but it still will stop the spiders. I almost get the whole thing done in one day, but this backside still does need a little bit of work. I get the steel I need to get the last steel fence on the squeezer, and then I hit it with a hammer. Only, I just need to find the G spot, which of course stands for gamer spot. I just realized because of that joke, G Fuel's gonna sound really gross now. Anyway, we do find the right spot to hammer, and we start to run power to this machine. I set up a relay so that I can plug the squeezer and other machines that come, but I can already tell this is gonna be a big mess of wires, and I love it. Power's in, now the seeds are in, and we just need to wait. At the start of day 33, I finally lose my last bit of sanity, and I demand that these zombies be silenced. I head up to the 3rd floor to see what looks like a pretty cool XP farm, but I just can't stand all the noise. Feels good to watch them all burn. After I clear everything out, I come up just to bask in the sweet, sweet silence. We head out, we grab some sugarcane, then we come back and we craft up some paper. Mama always said I wasn't no good at being smart. So I'm going to craft up some books, and then I'm going to eat them to gain their knowledge. However, I will need some more leather to get all the books I need for that smartness. Right now, I can only get about half the library done with what we have. Till then, let's finish up the last part of our perimeter wall. Not bad, not bad. Day 34, and I head to the village to kill all their cows. These poor babies. I'm sure they won't grow up to forever hate me for killing their parents, and then train for years to become an anime protagonist so they can hunt me down and seek vengeance on me? Nah, that won't happen. Oh, look, a ton of leather right here. Didn't even need to kill your parents. Oh well. So now I'm out, trying to get some more sugar cane, and finally finish this library. And I fall into quicksand. Yeah, it's a little upsetting, but no biggie. I'm not too worried. I just need to dig my way out of this. But you might have noticed something right there. I can't move, and this does take a long time. So I guess what I'm inferring is, if I were to fall into quicksand again, only this time it was at night, where the mobs could chase me, and that's exactly what's happening. So I act fast, trying to block up the quicksand, when this zombie comes right up to me. No problem. As long as it isn't a skeleton, and that's exactly what's happening. Okay. I can shoot this one skeleton, as long as there isn't like a big group of mobs with like a witch that could poison me. Okay, I'm done with this. I'm just gonna stop talking. I think quick, no pun intended, and grab some of the quicksand in buckets. Then I run like a little scaredy cat. And then I see these walls. Man, I sure do love seeing this base. We throw down some more bookshelves, and we're almost done here. Now I'm gonna get a few more relays set up on the perimeter. And by day 35, we get this. A Harvestcraft item called a press. This thing turns logs into paper, and it's exactly what we need. a bit more sail making today. And is it obvious? I'm staying inside today because I am super scared of almost dying last night. Now we have the whole base surrounded with wires, so we need to find a way to get in and out more quickly. So I make this jump bridge to get in that the mobs can't cross. As long as I get some turrets covering it, these zombies shouldn't be able to build across it. We take of the paper, we make of the books, and now we got all of the smartness. Level 30 enchantments, which gives us punch on our bow. So now we can just shoot the zombies off the bridge if the turrets don't get the job done. And the best enchantment of all, don't even try to argue with me in the comments, a diamond pick with Fortune 3. Yeah, I'm pretty happy about it. Day 37, I just decided to take it easy and pick some flowers. I've been practicing skipping through the meadows, and I gotta say, I'm ranked top 200 NA for poppy picking. You jealous? I then head down to the mines and, well, I mine. And mine. And I mine. And I mine for 2 whole days. And I know it's like, wait a minute, you're skipping a whole day? But seriously, I'm just mining for like 45 minutes real time. And no, I'm not lying. See, says day 39 right there. Plus this video is like already 2 hours long. Do you really want me to add in more time? The reason I needed to do so much mining was for all of this iron. The next 2 machines are pretty iron heavy. I mean, look, I need 4 cauldrons. And that's just the start. Ah, the fermenter. How I miss you. Another fairly simple build, 3x3x3, with some steel scaffolding, light engine blocks, and pipes for the base. The difference with the fermenter is that we're going to have those 4 cauldrons go where the 4 barrels would have gone on the squeezer. Even more iron sheet metal goes on top of all that. But we do get that built, and after some advanced electrician work, aka ripping a hole in the roof, we get the distiller online as well. And look, no shock of death when I walk under it. Now we grab some potatoes, and the smart viewers will start to understand why we need those swamp flowers. The potatoes only grow in spring, so they'll never naturally grow out in the open. We need to get started on our greenhouse. So we did get the cyan dye, but we need glass. Luckily, if you crush up cobble into gravel, then gravel into sand in the crusher, we don't even need to farm it. Nice, right? So by day 40, we have our first few blocks of greenhouse glass crafted. Once you have enough cyan dye, and boy do we have a lot, it's not too expensive to make the glass. It's just, well, we don't have any glass, but that'll come along soon enough. Okay, so we do not want to place the greenhouse glass outside of the defensive perimeter, which means we really only have one option. We're going to use this red tower, our last open area, and place a multi-tiered greenhouse building. I do not like that placement. Oh, this hurts to do, but... God, I hate wasting greenhouse glass. Okay, so I want to fit some planks up here because I want to put some lights above our glass so that we don't get mobs. Only problem is there's only 1 block of space, so I can't fit in here. No problem. I'll just dig up a layer of the floor so we can make room for the dirt. Small, humble even, but it's a start. Oh, now I see why there's so many skeletons. There are 2 spawners here. By that night, I have a bit more glass, but I really only need enough space to fit a few potatoes. I mean, if we're being totally honest here, I really only need 1 block since I'm going to be using bone meal for a bunch of the potatoes. Remember, we have a ton of bone when we dug up your mom. No. Don't reuse it. We're better than that. The reason we're getting potatoes is because those go into the fermenter. Duh. And we start to get our next big project. I clear out some space on the floor above the machines so that I can get started on the refinery. This one is still pretty easy. Some scaffolding, like always. Remember, heavy in the front, light in the back. And after we get our pipes laid, it's just 2 2x2 tanks. That's... Man, that was a lot of 2s. Did any of that make sense? Nice. Almost there, guys. However, this one might be a little tricky, though, because we're going to need to run wires up from the first floor. So, like any good electrician, we again wreck the floors, and I even take a chunk of the wall out, too. But we get the wires relayed up to the next floor and hooked up to the refinery. Can you guess what 2 fluids we need? Yep, the fermenter's ethanol. We get that out of this 1 tank with the jerry can. And then we also need the squeezer's plant oil. Only, there's a ton of this stuff. We place that in the other tank, and in no time, we are starting to get our very first little bit of biodiesel. But we're still going to need a lot more. And to get more, we're going to need more potatoes. To get more potatoes, we need more greenhouse glass. It's a whole thing, you guys get it. But soon, we get a little bit of diesel into the jerry can. On day 42, we can add that diesel to the mining drill. Oh man, look at that fuel meter. You know, with gas prices as high as they are, that's probably like 40 bucks in gas right there. But finally, it's time. We get to drilling. With this iron drill head, we can drill 4 blocks all at once with the speed of an iron pickaxe. This might be my favorite tool. It's between this or the auto furnaces. I can't really choose. Also, we get a ton more ethanol, so we should be getting a ton more fuel soon too. Now at this point right here, this is about how far we got in the industrial age. And it's great, don't get me wrong, but the best machines are still to come in the second half of the 100 days. Now it's time to upgrade to a steel drill head, and it's time to get even more fuel going. I only have 8 days till the next siege, and this time, the zombies are going to be able to build, so we really need to get some turret resources going. I decided to drill down from the inside of my base so that I can stay safe at night. The steel drill head hits 9 blocks at once and goes through them at the speed of a diamond pick. So yeah, pretty nice. Before I get carried away, I want to see how many turrets I can actually put up with what we have right now. I make as many tier 2 sensors as I can and a ton of IO buses, because we're going to need them all. Then, in total, I can get 9 tier 2 turret bases. But I don't have any guns for these turrets, so I might have overdone it on the turret bases a little bit. Day 43, and it's time to start to place the turrets. This is the part where a little bit of strategy really comes into play, so I'm probably going to suck at it. I'm trying to get the trench side the most heavily protected. After all, it's only a few blocks away from all of my machines. The highway side gets a few turrets as well, but it should be okay since it's only protecting the greenhouse. Now the side next to the farms, well, this is still going to need some work. I'm trying to figure out how to place the turrets around the relays when I discover something. If I use just a few more relays, I can run all the power lines on the outside of the wall, essentially making it a high voltage perimeter defense. Now, mobs don't even need to climb up on top of the wall. They'll start to take damage just by getting close to my base. It takes all day, but I'm really loving this electric fence we're getting set up. This might even be stronger than the turrets themselves. And here I was, calling myself dumb. Looks like I'm beauty and brains. Okay, well, that might be pushing it. Now this means our defense is even more dependent on power. We need it to keep the primary turrets powered, but also we need to keep it running just so that the lines won't die. So now it's finally time to set up the remaining windmills. Windmills. Okay, now I hear it out loud, you're right, I really do say it weird. So now we have a total of 5, and our power supply has been massively boosted, but it's not as powerful as it could be. A naked windmill is running at about half efficiency. But getting these nudie boys to no longer be naked, it's a lot harder than I thought. Turns out to be a real headache. We do not have nearly enough hemp, and we still might not by day 50, which is now only 5 days away. In the meantime, I need to try to get more gold and iron for more gun turrets. Also, I found diamonds. I don't know, should I even show this anymore? Do you guys even care when I find diamonds at this point? I mean, don't get me wrong, with Fortune 3, I get so many diamonds. I'm pretty hyped. Back on the surface, I do try to get a few more turret bases made, because I still have none of them set up on the farm side of the base. And we get a ton of gold. Super important for later. By day 46, we need to hurry and get this electric defense down. Remember, the zombies can build up over my walls if we aren't careful. I start to place some turrets around the corners of the animal pen. It's definitely looking better, but it's not nearly good enough. So for the next 4 days, I'm not really going to be doing anything else. I'm just going to be focused on getting more gold, redstone, and iron for the guns. Day 47, and it's time. Even if the farm side is still pretty weak, I'm just going to have to defend that by hand. I need to get the guns on the sides that already have the turret bases down. I almost can't believe this, but the only material I'm lacking is just cobblestone. Okay, so we go back down to the mines just to get a little bit of cobble. So now we can at least get 2 gun turrets. Fine, good start. And after rooting through all my chests and making sure I'm using every little bit of resources I can manage, I get 2 more, even if I'm completely out of redstone now. At the beginning of day 48, we start to get them all placed. My plan is to set them on each corner. Wait, why isn't the zombie being shot down here? Why does this turret have no power? Great, now I'm gonna have to figure that out. Okay, well, at least I know this turret has power on account of my face is all crispy and burnt. I start to make ammo. A lot of ammo. I'm using the last little bit of redstone now, so whatever this makes, it's just gotta last. Then I see it. The battery is dead. All of our power has been going to the crusher, and the crusher has been running nonstop because of all the mining I'm doing, and I used it to make sand, and I could have just easily been farming sand by the river. So it might be too late, but I still need to try this. I'm going to make some more batteries and try to hook up all the windmills, even if they aren't fully powered yet. So now I'm going to use one windmill, and it will be only dedicated to the turret system. I'm going to hook it up over here. Then I'm going to run wires so that the whole base is surrounded by one continuous circuit. And no, I don't have any turrets to hook up here, but I still need to get the power all the way around no matter what. Plus now this side of the base will at least have an electric fence, so it's something. And now with this last wire, the whole base is fully surrounded. Now, the only way to get in and out is the jump bridge. Or you could try to rush this side, but you'll come out looking more burnt than a chicken nugget. I make a quick trip around the base, and I make sure every turret is now at full power, even if they don't all have full ammo. Day 49, one last day to prepare. I want to ration out all of the ammo. This is pretty slim. I'm pretty worried that this won't last the full night. I still need to keep the turrets off so they won't waste precious bullets. I'll need to remember to turn them all on tomorrow when the horde shows up. I get one more turret, but I'm not getting enough power still. And I'm out of ammo. It must not be plugged in and... Oh no. This base is only halfway done. But my time's up. Day 50 starts out with just fighting to get the last basic touches done. The Bloodmoon is already starting. Here goes nothing. I'm trying to hold off. I'm trying to keep the turrets off till the very last minute, but my nerve breaks. I'm gonna have to turn the turrets on. Each turret has anywhere from 100 to maybe 200 rounds, but these guns shoot about 4 rounds per second, so it might not last. The good news is, they are working now. They're making quick work of the zombies, and the spiders are getting fried on the wires. But the skeletons are the real problem. Soon, I'm down to 1 heart, and I have to hide, and the night is only getting started. I need to hide and heal. This means I can't be out actively defending the base. I head to the farm side because I know this side is the weakest. I pick off most of the mobs, and it seems like everything's going pretty well. But soon, the guns fall silent. I know this first one here had the most ammo, so if it's run out, then the other ones... I throw in my last stack. This is it. Now it's just me and them. They start to pile up around the farm side. Oof. The creepers and the skeletons are the biggest threat. I need to retreat to the top of my base. The zombies are trying to cross the jump bridge, but I manage to shoot them back, for the most part. I'm trying to look around for more ammo or maybe more supplies when a creeper gets under the base and somehow blows a huge chunk into my living area. The center of my base now is a crater. They're breaking down the door and somehow getting in. But the zombies building has mostly been stopped by the electric fence. I hear a ton of mobs dying on it. Just when I was thinking all hope was lost, the sun finally does come up. I see fields of loot from the dead invaders. We've made it through the second attack. Even if we still have a ton of enemies around the base, and a huge hole in the center of it, we made it. Man, you sheep are useless. I gotta do all the work around here. You see that the zombies did manage to get through the front part of the base because, well, one of the wires is a little too high. They're able to sneak under it. I spent most of today doing repairs, but there wasn't too much to fix. To be honest, it's the fence that saved our little booties. I'm gonna head out, get a little bit more cactus so we get some relays. I'm definitely blocking off this part of the wall so that it won't be a problem on day 75. Next, I head out to the desert for even more cactuses, and yes, I do grab a little bit of sand here too. I'm not gonna use the crusher to get sand and use up our power again. I also find this custom desert temple, and I decide to poke my head inside. I was hoping to run into Indiana Jones, but no, wait. Is my audience too young to know about Indiana Jones? Wow, just made myself sad there. I'm gonna go cry myself to sleep. The next morning, I decide to steal this lapis block, and I can hear it whispering that it's cursed, but come on. All ancient treasures sound like that. I replant some more cactus closer to my base, and I start to cook up the cactus, but the furnaces seem to slow down. What could it be? Oh, that's where I put my wire cutters. Silly me. We do manage to get a ton of greenhouse glass, and I gotta be honest with you, after that crazy attack, I'm just gonna take some time, do some farming, and after a quick nap, I start to throw down my carrots, my second greenhouse crop, followed by strawberries. Strawberries are kind of important, because it's not super easy to grow fruits unless you have trees. Berry bushes are really important to help us with this nutrition. I also need dairy, and I don't need to explain where dairy comes from, right? So you're telling me you guys are all engineers in training, but you don't know how an udder works? So now I'm trying to get even more swamp flowers. And what do I find out in the swamp? But some moist moo-moos. Ew, why did I say it like that? I find a ton of them, and I start to slowly lead them home, but I'm not gonna make it, so time for bed. Kinda creepy to have all these cows watching me sleep. No, I'm not into this, guys. Day 54, and we do finally get all the cows home, but oh yeah, the whole base is surrounded in high voltage wires. This could be a problem. It's a good thing I found so many, because we might have to go full Gladys mode and run a few tests to see how the cows will get in here. Oh, ooh, okay. Okay, 2 out of 3 ain't bad, I guess. And as my reward, the cow juice is mine. Luckily, each time you milk a cow, you get 8 fresh milk, or else this would be a nightmare. I'd just be milking cows all day. Soon, we get our yogurt, which is nice, but could be better. We power grow our strawberries, and soon, we have strawberry yogurt. Any fans of yogurt watching? I used to eat this stuff like crazy when I was younger. Nutrition looking good, but it could be better. Let's see here. We're looking for a doable recipe that has as many nutrients as possible, but I'll start working on that tomorrow. Lemon cake sounds good. Pancakes. Whoa, 4 different nutrients? Dairy, fruit, grain, protein. Blueberry pancakes. Sounds perfect. Jackpot. Okay, let's see what we need. Batter, which is flour, and eggs. Come on. So, we're out looking for another animal to add to our prison barn. Our barn. Good news is I didn't have to go too far. Bad news is it's nighttime already. Man, now having these guys watch me is somehow even worse. Okay, this worked once, and oh, look at that. Once again, 2 out of 3. Kind of weird. Sadly, we can't suck the eggs out of the chickens like we could with the cows, so this may take some time, but we should be able to at least test the recipe. We get a mixing bowl along with a mortar and pestle. We use the wheat, or any grain really, to get our flour, put the flour and egg in a mixing bowl, and sure enough, we get our batter. All we're missing is some blueberries. This is where our paper comes into play. We head down the highway to the village and get an emerald with our paper. Only one for now, but for the future, I'm gonna block this guy in so the zomboys don't get to him. We're getting more paper pressed and remake the market because I guess it got destroyed in an attack. But sadly, this means we need to use our 1 emerald to make the market, and we can't buy anything. Not enough cash. Story of my life. It's all good though. We need a little extra time to expand the greenhouse to make room for the blueberries anyway. Day 57, we get back to the village, unblock the door, and grab a ton of emeralds just in case. Okay, let's start our shopping spree. Okay, an eggplant, your mom would like that. Giant pickle, your mom would like that too. Oh, does that count as my 3rd your mom joke? We finally get the blueberry seed, and we go to plant it in the greenhouse. We then bone it. God, I really wish I could make some more your mom jokes. I really don't want to have to switch up to that's what she said jokes. So let's see if we can finally get those blueberry pancakes. We get a little extra batter with some more eggs. We craft a skillet, throw some milk in the batter, and we get pancakes, and we just add blueberries. Yup. I also want to get this cow in, because I don't really need another one, but it couldn't hurt, right? Couldn't hurt me. I mean, that cow could definitely get electrocuted. I then spend the rest of day 58 just farming wood. I mean, seriously, I spend all of day 58 just farming wood. I need that paper for my trades. Some days are just kind of boring. What can I say? And speaking of trades, we're headed back to the village on day 59. Oh, look, zombies outside. Wow, it's almost like blocking in my villagers was a good idea. We make some trades, but we can't get as many as I was hoping, but honestly, this should be enough to get tons of crops. But before we can go and add any more crops, we need to add some more space, which means day 60 is all about setting up the next floor of our greenhouse. I guess at this point it's not really a greenhouse, it's like more of a green skyscraper? That doesn't really sound right. A green high-rise? Green apartment building? A jolly green giant. No, that's a different thing. That's a different thing entirely. We're headed out to the desert at the end of the day, but we're going to take some time and sleep through night 60. We then get a ton of sand in Minecraft, the original sandbox game. Well, that's kind of funny, I guess. And we aren't going to waste power just breaking some stone down. I just need to work a little bit harder and farm all this sand by hand. Now, how should I reward myself for all my hard work? Well, with the best food ever, beans. And I guess while looking in the market for beans, I got distracted. I grabbed some rhubarb. Don't even know what that is. Also, I get some tomatoes. That's pretty cool, actually. Oh, how I've missed you, my love. Oh, look at this. I guess you can buy livestock. That's kind of nice. And, oh, right. Beans, the whole reason we were shopping today. Day 62, and I start to plant all the new crops. We fill up the last spots on this top floor. And now, with these beanie boys, my top floor is complete. Perfect. I then head outside to make sure that the animal pen has its electric fence set up right, with the wires on the outside, not on the top. Remember, if we run out of ammo, these wires on the outside, they could be the only real automated defense that we have. Setting the wires up this way is good too, because it lets us place turrets up on top of the fence where we can load them much quicker. Speaking of ammo, I'm gonna have to get back to mining so we can get some more. But first, let's be real. We need to get the
motherfucking tea.
You gotta love the talk. Did I mention I started a TikTok? It's just TheCaptainsTV, all one word. Not dancing though. Don't get your hopes up, kids. Speaking of little kids, look at all these baby chicks. Now we should have tons of eggs, and that means tons of pancakes. Which is good, because I really want to try to max out my nutrients by day 75. Okay, now this part right here, I know it looks like I have a tea addiction, and I do, but this is actually for a good reason. You can drink tea even if you're at full hunger, and it will give you a veggie nutrient, so it's basically like a free buff. Day 64, and we're really moving right through all the days. It's crazy because I'm so focused on doing greenhouse stuff, I thought I could get all the crops in just a few days, but turns out, Harvestcraft is really in-depth. I'm kind of thinking that maybe for like my space age video, I might just do Harvestcraft on an alien planet. Build a giant greenhouse in space. Would that be cool to watch? Or is that just for me? Find another swamp and get a ton more flowers, speaking of Harvestcraft. And, on the start of day 66, I can see that in the colder biomes, winter is starting to set in. Now this doesn't really affect us, since we live in an always summer savanna biome, but I kind of think it should. I mean, in real life, the deserts get super cold in winter. I try to go to sleep on the frozen swamp, but I guess that's a no-no, so I head to dirt and I sleep here instead. Back at base, we get 43 more greenhouse glass blocks, and by the night, we finally get the entire second floor of the greenhouse set up and ready. I am such a big fan of Harvestcraft. Now on day 68, we buy some garlic, cause, I mean, come on. Everything's better with garlic. Then we buy some oats from my boy Oatmeal. Gotta go check him out on Twitch, by the way. Love that guy. We get some pineapple for pina coladas. Oof, now I'm thirsty. We get some seaweed, cause, well, I've never seen seaweed ever. We start out by throwing down the garlic and the seaweed right next to the green tea. And yes, I did buy some coffee, cause I knew if I didn't rep the coffee drinkers, we could have started a war in the comments. And finally the pineapple. Everything is looking pretty good. We're going to leave that all and let it grow. Whoa. Oh my. You know, for a second there, I totally forgot there were zombies in this playthrough. I've been so peacefully distracted by the greenhouse. And I do start to get some work done on the third layer of the greenhouse, but those zombies do remind me that sleeping through the night is probably a good idea. Day 69, and we're getting really dirty? I don't know, guys. Not every day 69 can be that funny. Get your heads out of the gutter. I'm supposed to be a wholesome Minecraft YouTuber. You guys got me out here acting dumb every day 69. Okay, day 69, I didn't really have any bad dad jokes. But on day 70, we might actually have something better. Laser turrets. A tier 5. Absolute chat of a weapon. It does massive damage with great range and a really solid fire rate. Best of all, the ammo is just energy. So, we don't need to reload it as long as we have enough power running into it. The only real downside is that it's above the tier 3 bottleneck. In order to make turrets above tier 3, you need a lot of gold. It's actually a huge problem. But after some quick work, we do in fact get our big, sexy laser. Only problem is, now we need a tier 5 base to mount it on. Yep. Once again, it's gold that limits us. So we won't be able to get this turret going just yet. The mining drill is the only thing really keeping me sane at this point. Even after a full day of drilling, we still don't have enough gold, but first we need to get some nether quartz anyway, so I'm tired of drilling. So, after grabbing some, I do farm blaze rods for blazing clay, and accidentally hit this pigling. Wait, well, this gives me another idea. Piglings will often drop gold nuggets. With my looting 2 sword, this might actually be a good way to farm gold. I spend another 2 days in the nether farming gold and blaze powder, and killing this ghost of a horse, I guess? And I was gonna stay down here till I got 420 blaze rods, but that's too funny and I'm not allowed to be that funny. I crush my rods and watch the sunset while slamming some flapjacks. My nutrition is coming along really well, and I might just have all 100s by day 75. What I definitely will have on day 75 is this laser turret. I have to go through all the lower tiers, which is the hardest part about making turrets. But finally, after using all of my gold, I get it. My tier 5 base. Now we're ready to start the light show. Now, as much as I love this loyal little tier 1, I think it's time to retire it. You served us well, little buddy. Now I'm trying to decide if I really want to put the laser here after all. It would be covering the bridge and the front entrance, but the weak spot of this base has always been the farm side. So, I head to the back, and I decide to put the laser on this crucial point where most of the skeletons always seem to spawn. Plug it in. After a few seconds of charging, it starts to spray down the mobs around us. It's killing them so fast, I can barely turn my head in time to see how much damage it's actually doing. Everywhere I look, just a cloud of smoke and some crispy zombie bits. I do get right up next to it so that I can actually see what it's shooting, and I see that it can 2-shot the standard zombie. The armored zombie is a little bit harder, but there won't be too many of them until day 100, so for now, it's a huge help, and it really boosts our defenses to a whole new level. Which is good, because it's already day 75, and tomorrow will be the 3rd blood moon, which means the zombies can now break blocks. I know just one laser won't be enough, so I start to craft up some ammo, with the priority being blazing clay for flamethrowers. The gun turrets were cool, but they use so much ammo so fast. The flame turrets are great for crowd control. They're great for zombies. I'm going to focus on setting these up on the sides of the base that the laser can't cover. So, along the front side and on the highway side is where we're going to start. And we even get to throw one of them down on the farm side. All we need to do now is load them up with some blazing clay. I'm trying to keep my gun turrets loaded too, though. They're still going to be really good. I mean, let's face it. I'm going to need all the help I can get. Day 75, and I'm scrambling to get the last bit of clay. I've used flamethrowers in the past, and I know they're really helpful against big numbers of mobs. I'm crafting up as much blazing clay as I can fit in my inventory. I'm going to start getting as much gun turret ammo as I possibly can too. I'm even trying to get a few last minute turrets out there, but it's too late. Blood moon time. I get one last flamethrower, then rush out to the perimeter. I can see that the laser turret is doing well. and this side seems to be pretty strong now. I get one more flamethrower down and try to connect it with flaming arrows flying over my head. Zombies trying to build on my web. Man, this is a nightmare. But I just need to stay calm and focused. I need to keep working on loading the turrets and making sure they're all turned on. The first wave is arriving, and I need all my guns fired. As I poke my head over the wall, I see a ton of mobs, but I also see a ton of damage markers, showing just how brutal the no man's land really is. The lag is a bit rough, but it's manageable. As long as they don't get in the base, and I have to fight them hand to hand, I should be okay. The first wave is down, and now I have some time to breathe. I'm going to try to pick off the skeletons. This will really help me, because it'll let me join in the fight for the next wave. Speaking of, I can see from my rooftop that they are coming from every angle. I just need to keep my eyes out for any weak spots. Then it happens. They break in through the far wall, and they start to push into this empty building. Now they're already weakened from taking so much damage from the wires, but they're still pouring in. I go to check my laser turret. Maybe it can help me. Oh, it's low. Then boom, a creeper takes a chunk of my wall out. Did it damage the power grid? I keep on trying to look back to see if it has, but I need to be careful. I have to pull back and eat and heal every so often. Luckily, I see that the wires are still there. I think that means it's still giving power to the laser. The sun rises and saves me, but that was way too close. And the final blood moon will be 5 times the spawn rate of this one. Not good. Even the caves still have leftover mobs. I want to be ahead of this one and not wait till the last minute. I'm going to get a ton of ammo today. I load up the turrets and repair the gaps in the walls. I need to think of something better than what I've got. Okay, now we know the big thing we need to work on is getting more laser turrets. And in order to get more laser turrets, we're going to need more gold. So, like a creepy lady trying to grab a sugar daddy, we're going to go full-on gold digger mode. And that means it's arc furnace time. Oh, whoa. Man, that's a lot of mats for one machine. Whew. The arc furnace is one of the most advanced machines in immersive engineering. So I guess it does make sense, but man. On top of a lot of steel, the arc furnace needs reinforced bricks, which need more blazing powder. But we head to the nether, and we get it. And it only takes us one day. I'm looking around the second floor, trying to find a place to put this thing, and I think I'm going to have to head up to another floor. This is, in fact, a big boy. We dig out even more space, and then we get started. Like I said, the arc takes a ton of steel. First, we get a floor of steel sheet metal slabs laid out like so. Then, we get full-on blocks of steel, 3 of them on each side. And we're not even done, because we need more steel sheet metal again for the back lip. Okay, speed build. Heavy blocks on the sides, light blocks in the very back. Then fill in the middle with those reinforced bricks. Then some more light for the next level, and more bricks, only now they're going to stick all the way out to the very front of the machine. We do another 9 on top, and then, once we get all those in place, we do have to do a crane right on top here, made out of light machine blocks, with scaffoldings on the side to hold it all up. Okay, everyone cross your fingers. Cross your fingers! I can tell if you're not doing it. A purple achievement. That means I'm cool now. I'm going to tell all my friends at school. They're going to be so jealous. You'll see. Oh, but I guess I need to get power to it first, or it's basically just a glorified paperweight. The back side here has 3 plugs, which is good because this thing needs a lot of power. So in order to hold all the power, let's get 3 high voltage batteries. These will be good for the arc furnace, and also just good to have a little extra power for when the defenses need it. So now, we're going to get back to being a horrible electrician, and placing the batteries right behind the furnace, and then throwing the 3 plugs on the furnace. 3 plugs on the top of the batteries, and then 3 plugs on the back of the batteries for where all the power is going to come in. I wire them up, and by default, the top of batteries are an in slot, so we have to use the hammer to make them an out slot. Now, we have to endure the biggest headache of my life, trying to run a separate wire system to each battery for each power source. So I'm hooking up the batteries so that each one is dedicated to one windmill. Luckily, these batteries have been charging the whole time, so they already have some power when we connect them to the new batteries. So there's going to be around 6 to 7 batteries for the entire base. So now this thing has some power, it should work, right? Nope. Ha, gotcha. Oh, the look on your face. You thought it was going to be that easy. What? You think that I'm the one who tried to turn it on and I didn't realize it wouldn't work? Psh, no, I totally knew we needed to craft up graphite rods first. Yeah, totally. So we have to empty the squeezer so that we can get some coke dust from the crusher and add it back to the squeezer. Then we grab those super lucky blueprints, and soon the squeezer makes us HOP graphite dust. And I'm assuming HOP means hold on partner, because we're not done yet. We still need to get 12 piles of graphite dust. So in the meantime, we're trying to get all the sails on our windmills, because we need this power more than ever. Now that we have some graphite dust, we can run that through the furnace and we get graphite bars. Or ingots. However you pronounce it, shut up. Once we get our 4 ingots, we just need to grab the blueprints and head to the workbench, and boom, graphite electrodes. Only problem is we need 2 more of those, so in the meantime, we're gonna head back to the hemp fields. And actually good news, we use some bone meal and finally get enough tup fabric to finish the windmill farm. Now all 5 of the windmills are at full power and plugged into our power grid. It's looking good. More good news, we have enough graphite to get 2 more graphite electrodes, and that means, just hold on, gotta get up these stairs. All right, throw these rods into the top 3 slots, and that means the arc furnace is a go. This thing's pretty awesome. It can take the armor that we find and break it into its base parts. Super useful. I'm testing it out with a wide range of gear and tools, and soon I see that my plan for more gold is gonna work perfectly. The arc furnace gives way more than just a nugget per piece of armor. It almost returns the whole amount of mats. You know what that means. We now have 20 days to get our defenses ready, and farming the gold loot from piglings is our ticket to salvation. I kind of feel bad for killing all these neutral mobs, but at this point, it's them or us. Also, we're starting to max out all of our nutrition. Remember, over 90% means we get a health bonus. Back in the over, we start to load up the arc furnace. The more broken down gear is, the less gold it will give us. But still, it's giving us a good amount, on top of the nuggets we already normally get from the piglings. So let's see what kind of turret we can get. And I used all my gold to make IO buses. Okay, great. And now, we don't have enough to get past the tier 3 turret. Man, I'm dumb. I'm gonna go cry my dumb self to sleep. On day 81, some things never change, and diamond gear is still a bit better than steel, so I get a full set crafted up, and then I go ahead and enchant it. Good amount of protection 3 on all of this, and oh, look at this. Thorns. I'm a big fan of thorns. I then spend the next 2 days in and out of the nether, farming up more piglings. Man, their whole entire race is going to be pretty angry with me. But hey, it's a good way to get gold. Back on the surface, I'm not getting as much as I could though. I'm going to try and get back to mining with the drill to see if I can get some more gold this way. The nether farming is a pretty good way to get gold, but this drill is just so much fun. Plus the arc furnace doubles the ore without using the crusher, and it's so much faster. So combining the drill and the arc furnace, it's pretty tough to beat. The only way it could be better is if we could find a mesa biome. Can you guys think of a better way to get gold in 1.12.2? It's a serious question. I keep thinking about it. I could use any help you guys can give for the next video. Speaking of help, this gold is definitely going to help. Also, this thing does just look cool. I mean, pouring all this molten gold out. Okay, now we have more gold than we could ever hope for. We craft up 2 golden tier bases, but I know I'm gonna need more, and we're out of gold. Seriously, there's gotta be a better way. I kinda wanna go looking for a mesa biome, but also, I can't just waste too much time. But finding this underground railroad is pretty cool. And once I get back from mining, we actually have a bigger problem. All those windmills are working at full power, and there's still not even enough. Our arc furnace is drained. Okay, I spent the entire last video trying not to destroy the environment. I think it's gonna have to take one more hit for the team. It's time to get the best power source short of a nuclear reactor. The diesel generator makes a huge amount of power, really fast, but it tears through diesel. There's 2 brand new blocks that are different for this big boy. Generator blocks, which take steel, electrum, and a kinetic dynamo. We get those crafted up, and we just need to get the second block, which is radiator blocks. Those are pretty simple. It's just steel, copper, and some water. We get 4 of those, and now we're ready. I head up to the second floor. This is the floor that has the refinery, and we're going to run the diesel right into this thing. That's a bit complex, but nothing like the arc furnace. Scaffolding on the sides, pipe down the middle, with the generator blocks and a small T at the front, and the radiator blocks making a 3x3 wall in the back. Then we just fill the middle with a bunch of heavy engine blocks, and then we do 5 more in a cross on the very top. We get the rest of the radiator blocks put in the back here, and look at this. Yeah, bad for the environment indeed, but sadly, also very necessary for now. Alright, I'm not messing around with jerry cans. I'm going to run a pipeline straight from the refinery into this big engine. Now you can see on top of the generator blocks, there are 3 plugs for outgoing power. So you can tell this machine is really what is intended for the arc furnace. Also, this part right here, don't mind the mess. Pretty much to sum up what I'm doing here is I'm trying to run a wire to the power grid so that the windmills and the diesel generator will run power into the 3 arc batteries up on the 3rd floor. Yes, it's a pain, both mentally and physically too. Ouch. But it's functional, and it's done. Now let's throw the switch on this dirty boy and see what we get. Oh great, it's super loud. But also, it's super effective too, because it's got our arc furnace running at 100%. This means that now the biggest thing keeping our whole base running at peak performance is diesel fuel. And because this requires ethanol, this means I'm now dependent on alcohol. I'm literally an alcoholic. Now since I don't want to spend the last 14 days running plant oil and ethanol up this ladder, I'm going to connect some fluid pipes from the refinery down to the fermenter and the squeezer. Alright, we got the fermenter hooked up, and the ethanol's going up. Good start. The squeezer is a little bit harder, since we don't want to run into those wires, so I'm actually going to run this pipe across the 2nd floor, then straight down. And there we go. Now the plant oil is going to make its way up to the refinery, then the diesel will go straight into the pipe to the generator, then the generator is plugged into everything in the base. I get the squeezer back into making plant oil, then head to bed, with a job well done. Day 87, and we start off by harvesting up all of our potatoes. And we're going to bone meal them up a bit too. We get the fermenter full of potatoes, and now we should have a ton of power for the rest of the playthrough. I'm running the generator for a bit to fill up those batteries. Pretty quickly, they're maxed out. So we can let the environment rest for just a little bit here. I really should do a 100 days video where I work to repair the environment instead of destroy it. Also, we can turn these batteries into outputs. This will send power back into the grid and charge up our turrets. We now have a ton of diesel on backup, with a ton of plant oil and a ton of ethanol. Life is good, you guys. Day 88. It's time to start working on getting our final defenses ready. We get to crafting our 2nd tier 5 turret base. I'm realistically aiming for at least 5. 1 for each corner. Oh, don't tell me we're out of gold again. I swear, these last 25 days are just gold, gold, gold. Dude, Mr. Zombie, I'm so over it right now. Don't even talk to me. Day 89 and I'm bored. No more mining. I'm going back to the nether. Maybe I'll find some happiness down here. Ah, nope. Just more piglings. So now we get out of the nether, and nope, we don't have enough gold. Which means we're headed right back in. I think there's a metaphor here. My greed for gold has got me forever banished to the nether. Something like that. Okay, we actually did get a good amount here. So let's see what we can make. And, oh. There's a lone chicken here. Kind of weird, but okay. The good news is, all that time in the nether also got me a ton of blaze rods for the flamethrowers. So that's pretty good. And also, we do have enough gold for another tier 5 base. In fact, we could get more, but obsidian's the thing holding us back. Weird. So with that, we hit day 90. And with only 10 days to go, it's a really good thing that we're actually starting to get another laser turret done. I feel like this farm site has always been our weak spot. This is where spiders get in, and skeletons can shoot us, so this is where the 2nd laser turret goes. Now, the nether is great and all for getting gold, but I need to keep mixing it up. I can't just keep on doing one thing for 25 days. I'll go crazy. So now it's time to do some more drilling for gold. I swear, the next time I even think about using laser turrets, I'm going to make sure I'm building in the mesa biome. Oh, but this is actually pretty good. I turned a drill head that only had 33 durability into 23 steel. Nice. But yeah, I'm back into the mines. I do need those lasers. Oh, and also some uranium. I really need to do another NuclearCraft video. On the bright side, we did get a ton of iron. I mean, look at this. Plus, all of this is doubled. This is crazy. Speaking of crazy, we do get a double chest for all of our redstone and a double chest for all of our lapis. That's what you get for a whole 3 days of mining. Okay, so there's a ton of crafting going on here, but I can pretty much sum it up to this. One more laser turret and one more tier 5 base. And yeah, but of course that means one more trip down into the mines. Hey, I know these last few days is just mining, but I'm trying to skip through hours of gameplay here. I'm trying to fast forward to the last siege for you guys. All you need to know is laser turrets are expensive. And the furnace is dead, which means, yep, these batteries are dead. This might be a good thing though. Now we can really test to see how much the diesel generator can really do. We can make sure that the power grid can support all the lasers at once. Wow, look at this. The diesel generator is going, and the furnace is still not at full power. This thing has 5 full windmills and a diesel generator, and it's still barely getting this done. So now we know, if we want to use our turrets, the arc furnace has to go offline that night. That's good to know at least. Now we just need to focus on getting our hemp seeds picked and throw them into the squeezer, get our potatoes picked, pulled, dug up, you know, harvested. Now we have the fuel circle running again, and the batteries are filling up. And now we should have full power and full... Oh, come on. Oh, I spent all of day 95 getting more potatoes and getting more hemp seeds, and we still don't have enough diesel. Now I understand why we're so dependent on fossil fuels in the real world, I guess. Day 96, and we still don't have enough hemp seeds. Alright, I'm gonna go mine up this obsidian, but I'm gonna be really upset the whole time I do it. Okay, so now we do get another laser. In order to charge it up, maybe we shouldn't run the arc furnace. Day 97, and let's get a good look at our defenses so far. We have our 2 laser turrets on the farm side looking good. I'm going to place one over here on the highway/front corner to cover this 270-degree range. Finally, I'm going to place one in the spot where we put our very first tier 1 turret. Man, we've come a long way. I try to craft up just one more laser turret to really cover us, but I still need some more gold, so this might be the best that we can get. Now we've got some more diesel, but I'm not really sure if I want to run the arc furnace, because instead, I think we should try to charge up the lasers. We get a bit more gold, and I don't have too much time or power to waste. That night, I do get a little preview, and I see that the laser turrets are pretty capable, and they might just be good enough. But they are pretty low. I don't know, this is going to be close. Just one more time in the arc furnace. We're just going to put in gold to try to save power. By doing this, we do get one more tier 5 base. And we get one more laser turret. Perfect. But I don't have enough aluminum to make a high voltage connector. This means I don't think I'm going to be able to connect this last laser. And this is it. This is our last charge till day 99. We've worked so hard to prepare for this, but this next siege, it's just going to be too much.
The mobs are coming at 5 times the numbers, and they can build and break blocks. Also, they can use TNT. I spend all day getting my inventory full of ammo. We have lasers, but we need every gun at full power working tonight. Oh, I can already hear the explosions happening. The final Bloodmoon is here. This is it. I'm trying to make sure every gun is powered, loaded, and turned on. I'm trying to make sure I have extra ammo too to reload turrets throughout the night. Then, I see this, the first strike, and it's massive. The zombies are going to be able to hit me from every angle. I start filling this turret when zombies climb out of the crater in the ground. Yeah, this is going to be a desperate fight. I look out, and I see that the mobs are spawning faster than the laser can take them out. There's an explosion right behind me. I run to get a safe distance away from it when I see a TNT zombie already inside my walls. No, no, no! I'm not this fast. The defenses are already crumbling. I head over to the highway side, and I see more explosions. The walls are tumbling down all around me. I'm trying to load up all the turrets that are emptying, and just trying to keep the horde under control. I'm healing, and I'm eating, and I'm trying to keep moving, just doing whatever it takes. I try to get more flamethrower ammo to the front line, and this turret bursts back to life. But just then, a zombie runs by with a broken turret. Oh man, this is chaos. I try to kill the zombies getting into the walls when the doors are blown open. Now, they have a straight path right inside my base. If this living area is overrun, then I can't keep making ammo, and the turrets will start to shut down. Another TNT zombie comes in the backside from the very first breach and drops another bomb. I go to try to stop the leak in the backside. The defenses are leveled. There's nothing left. I move up my greenhouse tower and try to hold the horde back with my bow. They're hitting me from all sides now. I don't know when I'm going to turn a corner and just see a huge pack of them. I keep moving and kiting, trying to keep them back, but they just keep destroying everything in their path. I see that most of my turrets are broken. My walls and base, it's all broken. The wires have been cut off. This is it. I move back into the corner of my base and try to eat, but I'm already being surrounded. I move outside to see that the waves are only getting stronger. This last laser turret, it's even starting to get low, and the rest of the turrets are all out of ammo. If this laser stops, retreat to the top of the living area using the vines, because I know that this area has already been overrun below me. But maybe they can't get up. I'm shooting, and I'm fighting, and I'm just trying to keep myself safe so that I can rest and heal. Then, they start to break the floor underneath me. Even the rooftops aren't safe. I'm trying to shoot out this TNT zombie, and I get to before he drops a bomb. Oh, a baby zombie. That's it. This place is done for. Now where am I supposed to go? I start to move up the greenhouse tower. Everywhere else in the base is swarmed. No, and then I see they're even up here. So this is it. This is going to be my last stand. My last hope. I'm not going to be able to keep kiting or run away because there's nowhere else to go. I have to fight for as long as I can. I can't take a break and eat. I can only hold them off for so much longer. So this is it. Does day 99 count? I can hear them breaking through the floors below me. I tried, boys. Wait. Wait. It's getting lighter. We're saved. The sun just barely starts to raise over the horizon. The last of the mobs are burning up. They won't have the numbers to keep up this assault. So that's it. Day 100. We did it. We won.